Hi, it's Lauren. Wait, hold on a second. So I filmed that at the beginning of 2021. Life caught up with me, never edited it. I'm editing it now. But I have some things I want to say first. Early 2019, I quit journaling. I had been doing great. I had been writing in my traveler's notebook pretty much every night before I went to bed, and then I just stopped. It happens sometimes. There are plenty of videos out there about ways that you can keep up with the habit of journaling or ways that you can motivate yourself to journal when you're not super excited about it. But you know what? I wasn't excited about it for a while, and so I stopped, and there is nothing wrong with that. Honestly, taking a break from journaling was really great for me because eventually I got back around to a point where I wanted to journal again, and I was so much more energized by it and so much more excited about it. I'm not here to guilt myself or anyone else about how people want to spend their time. And I, at that point in my life, wanted to spend my time on other things. And I did. And it was great. I just wanted to pop in here and tell you that if you are having trouble keeping up with journaling and you are falling behind and it's becoming a stressful thing for you, that's okay. You can take a break. The day that I filmed that video was the day that my most recent and probably biggest journaling phase started. And I've been going strong ever since. I've been getting a lot of good things out of journaling. I've been documenting days and reminding myself of the good things. I've been venting about the bad stuff and getting it out of my head and feeling better about it. I have been enjoying so many cool products and supporting so many cool small businesses. So much so that I started another YouTube channel called Journal Sunshine. I've been posting videos over there at least once a week, sometimes twice, and just kind of including videos of my journaling process and talking about my favorite supplies, testing out fountain pens, playing with inks, and just having a really good time. So if you like the journaling videos that I've made in the past, definitely head over to Journal Sunshine and subscribe. All right, we can go back to the past again. Today I am taking you along with me on a journey that I like to call Lauren Gets Back into Journaling After Taking a 2-year-long break. If you like to journal, you may have experienced this where you're really into it for a few years, you're on top of things, you're journaling a lot, and then you just stop journaling for a while, something else takes over, you're super busy, you just aren't into spending time doing that anymore. That's totally fine, and then out of nowhere, you just realize, okay, I haven't journaled in a while, I kind of want to again. So then you look at the journal that you had stopped writing in and you go, oh my gosh, it's been 2 whole years. Should I catch up? What do I do? And then if you're me, you end up buying new journaling supplies to kind of freshen things up and get some supplies that suit whatever journaling mood you happen to be in this time. So that's what I did. I like having journals around that I can read and look back at my memories. And so especially right now, I really wanted to kind of look back at my photographs and update all my journals and write in like all the good things that have happened lately. That's another thing. I want to focus on the good stuff these days. So I placed a few orders at several different online stores that have supplies that I'd kind of been eyeing for a while and use this as an excuse to get myself some presents. So I'm going to kind of go through and show them to you. So let's get started. The most exciting thing in this entire haul is a new traveler's notebook for myself. But the reason why it's exciting, aside from the fact that it's like the big item, is that I finally bought an official Traveler's Company Traveler's Notebook. If you have watched my other Traveler's Notebook haul videos or setup videos that I've done in the past, you may know that initially upon getting into the Traveler's Notebook craze, I thought that just the plain leather cover was not going to do it for me. I thought, I kind of want something that's a little bit more complicated with lots of pockets and more elastics built in and maybe more choices as far as the colors go. And so over the last 5 years or so, has it been 5 years? I have some Webster's Pages covers, I have some Chic Sparrow covers, and I love those, so I keep them around. But I finally bought a Traveler's Company Traveler's Notebook. This is, as far as I know, the company that originated this entire Traveler's Notebook craze, but I love this thing. So I got the starter kit from JetPens. Most of what I purchased is from JetPens. They're a company that I really love. They've sent me a lot of free stuff in the past, and so I just ended up filling up a cart and just buying it myself because I was so excited to. I ended up choosing the blue leather. It's a very dark blue. It almost looks black when I have it on camera. I've seen in photos that it has lightened up over time for some people. I know that every piece of leather is different, and depending on the weather conditions and how oily your hands are and things like that, it can kind of change the way that your leather looks over time. So you get the notebook cover itself, which is this lovely dark blue leather. It comes in a little bag. It also comes with a blank notebook. I believe this is the number 3 traveler's notebook refill for the regular size. Oh, also it's a regular size traveler's notebook. I definitely have my eye on the passport size, and I may end up getting a little one to match this just when I want to work in a smaller notebook. We'll see how that goes. I guess you'll find out eventually. But as soon as I opened this up, could not help myself. I went and got my other traveler's notebook. I got a bunch of my refills, and I spent a while messing around with the setup of this, and I've even changed it since I filmed the other part of this where I was showing you what my setup looks like. But I just am so excited about this. One of the first things that I did when I opened this up was I took the yellow elastic that it came with. It came with actually a different color elastic, which is kind of nice. I swapped it out because I wanted to have that kind of two-tone effect there. And I also knew that I had some gold and yellow accessories that I wanted to add to it. Little charms and zipper pulls and things like that. And so that way it would match. I really like the way this is turning out. I added a couple things to this one. It may be too much. I may eventually pull one of these off. I bought a couple of basically jewelry charms, and so one of them is this branch, which is the one that I ended up sticking with, at least for now. It's kind of cool because it has several places where you can thread either your chain or, in this case, an elastic through so that it will hold on to that elastic, and it'll be really cool looking. I love the natural look and feel of it. It's kind of big, but I like it. The other charms that I bought for this are these really cool looking little retro scissors. I'm gonna definitely use these for something, and it came with a bunch of them. So I knew even if I didn't end up using it on this traveler's notebook, I would be using these for something. Another item that I purchased, this one was actually from Amazon, is a fabric zipper pouch for the traveler's notebook. It has a zip pouch on one end, and then the other side has some card pockets, and then a pocket that just has a flap. It's not zipped shut like the one in the front. And I ended up kind of wrapping it around some other things. And then I have kind of a clear zipper pouch, which I believe I got from Webster's Pages. I don't think it's the official Travelers Company one. I have now lots of zipper pouches and pockets that I can use that are not attached to the cover itself. So that was my thought here, is that I didn't need like a deluxe chic sparrow if I had enough zipper pouches. And so we're going with that for now. We'll see how it works out. I've got lots of things already in here. Different stickers, some washi tape, just some kind of ephemera and other mementos that I've picked up around when I've been traveling. Those get shoved in there, and then that way I have some stuff to pull from when I am journaling. So this is another thing that I bought. These, I believe, are planner charms. They're supposed to be planner accessories from Joann Fabrics. There's this little yellow tassel with these little beads on it. I thought it was really cute. So I actually attached these to the zipper pull on the zipper pouch. And so the last thing that I added on here was a little charm that I got from the Clever Clothes, which is a great artist that makes these really gorgeous hard enamel pins. This was actually a stitch marker for like a knitting project, and I took off the other hardware and I added it to the top of the binding of the Traveler's Notebook with some jump rings. And then another thing that I added to this is I actually bought the Travelers Company Refill Pocket Sticker. And so it's a larger size stick-on adhesive pocket that you can put on the inside cover. So basically what I did here was I stuck it on the back side. It says that you can actually use this to attach another refill, but what I'm using it for is kind of larger stickers that are too big to fit in the zipper pouch comfortably. I feel like that is a good place for that. There's even a little card pocket there so that I could add another washi tape sampler or something like that. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with this. You can kind of see how it turned out. I'm still at the point where I'm trying to catch up with the last 2 years of journaling, which is good because I don't have too much to write about these days. New Traveler's Notebook, always exciting. We'll see if I keep up with it this time. Last time it was like, I filled up like 4 or 5 inserts before I got bored. So yeah, very exciting. Anyway, let's continue on. I'm going to show you some more things that I bought. I actually got another one of these number 14 Traveler's Company craft paper inserts. This is kind of what I've been using as a travel journal. You may recognize this from some of my past videos. So whenever I've gone on trips, I've done separate pages in here. And I didn't fill this up totally. This was something I had a hard time keeping up with. I was doing a lot of traveling and not a lot of documenting that travel. So I bought another one so I can kind of start fresh if I wanted to. I didn't end up really liking the decorations that I added to it. I think I might keep this one plain and maybe add a sticker or two on the front. We'll see what happens when we get there. I also bought this kind of small ruler with a grid on it that I thought would fit really well in my traveler's notebook. So I got a couple sets of these washi tape stickers, which is something I've had my eye on for a while. But these are basically washi tape paper that comes on a roll, but instead of just being a long strip of tape, they are shapes and they're already cut out, so you just kind of pull them off one at a time, stick them on your paper. It's washi tape, so it comes off cleanly if I needed to move it around. And so this one has these little succulents on it. It's very cute. It comes with 12 different designs. You don't really get to pick and choose between the designs because you kind of have to pull off the most recent one, but those are really cute. And then these two are super adorable. They look a little bit like little watercolor wash circles. I got some blue ones and some purple ones, and there's a lot of variation in the color, and I always like the look of watercolor on planner and traveler's notebook pages. When there's actual water involved, it just gets messy, and so this way I thought I could add a little bit of watercolor detail. I think these are gonna make things look really cute. And then I also bought these metal clips because whenever I'm taking photos of my journals on Instagram, I always forget that like the pages don't stay open on traveler's notebooks, and so they always flop everywhere, and then my hand ends up awkwardly being in the shot. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna buy some clips. I got 3 silver ones that are kind of small, and then I got some bigger ones from Jet Pens. And so these were the larger size that I bought from Jet Pens, and these are the smaller ones. I'm not entirely sure which I like better yet, but I figured this way I have options, and those have been very helpful so far. The next category of items are tiny, cute cutting tools. For whatever reason, decided I wanted to buy a bunch of these. Jet Pens has a lot of really fun gadgets, and there are a lot of interesting cutting tools, so I bought a bunch. So this is the Raymay Pen Cut. It's a 2-tone edition, so it's like green and blue. I love the colors on these. So I own one of the mini Raymay Pen Cut scissors, and I love them, and I initially thought I was buying another mini one, but this is actually a larger size, which is fine. So the cool thing about these scissors is that they look like a pen, and then you can kind of pop out the handles and take off the cap, and then you have little mini scissors. These are still nice and small, and I can fit them in my pen case, which is great. I also bought these even tinier scissors. These are even smaller than the mini Raymay Pen Cut, and my thought here is that when I'm out and about, if I need to like clip a tag off of something or open a package and I am not home and don't have access to scissors, it'll be nice to have something small that I can use for that. You can attach them to your keychain. And then I bought this ceramic letter opener. You can use this to open a letter, and it basically makes it so that you can keep the envelope and it's in really good shape and it doesn't get all ripped up, so that if I start doing pen pal letters and people send me things that are pretty, I don't have to ruin the envelope. And then I've also had my eye on these for a while. This is a Kuretake Zig clean color dot pen. So this on one end is just kind of a very fine tip, and then the other end is a dot. It makes circles. You can also do leaf shapes if you kind of drag the circle along, but depending on how hard you push, you get bigger or smaller dots. And so I can use these to color code my traveler's notebook pages. I can make little flowers and details, and I don't know, I just thought that this was such a cute idea. It's a marker that makes a dot shape. The last category of items that I picked up is something that I had been holding off doing for a while because they're kind of expensive and they honestly make me nervous, and that is acrylic stamps. I had wanted to buy some for a while. I finally did. I made a purchase from Everyday Explorers Co., which is a store that I had been following on social media for so long. I love her designs. So this is my favorite of the stamp sets. This was like a definite purchase for me. And so these are journaling prompts, and they're really cute. They all kind of match. And my idea here was that I'm not traveling and I'm not really going anywhere. I'm not seeing any people that I like except for my own family who lives in my house. And so if I'm going to be journaling in this era where I'm not like documenting much, I thought that I would basically use these little prompts to keep up with things I'm making, music I'm listening to, some books that I couldn't put down, packages I got in the mail, things I love, podcast episodes, highlights from the day, and these are all just like really cute. I'm excited to kind of try out this new method of journaling where I'm not just writing about the exciting things that are happening. I'm writing about the mundane and the everyday and my thoughts and wishes and dreams. And so this will help me do that. I also got this set. It's called Send More Mail. So I thought I could use these with any pen pal letters or any other letters that I send. These are so cute. They say things like, please do not bend, handle with care, or open here, or special delivery. This is the passport set of stamps. These are really cool because they're designed to go with a date stamp, which I actually have. So I bought this date stamp on Amazon and I love it. I love the way it makes my pages look. And so I have been putting date stamps on so much stuff because I've been just kind of backdating entries in my journal. And then the last stamp set that I bought are the day by day, day of the week stamps. And so this has Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in 1, 2, 3, 4 styles. But they all kind of go together, which is kind of cool. So I can mix and match these. Really love her designs. Her name's Christine Herron. You should follow her on social media, but I bought those and I love them. I'm excited to try them. I'm a little nervous to try them. So that brings me to stamping accessories that I bought. So in order to use those, because they're just kind of the acrylic bottom of the stamps, you need a clear block that you can put them on, essentially. They stick. And so I bought 2 different ones from Jet Pens by the company BGM. Got their small size and their larger size. I actually bought those before I got the stamps in the mail, so I wasn't entirely sure how big most of them would be. And then you can see through them, so you can see exactly where you're placing your stamp. Wish me luck. We'll see how that goes. The other thing I wasn't entirely sure about was ink. I saw all these little mini stamp pads on Jet Pens, so I bought kind of an assortment of them. And so these are all by the same company, but they're 2 different formulas of ink. And so there is the Versa Magic Dewdrop, and these look like little teardrops, and they're really cute and tiny. And this is chalk ink. And from what I gathered from reading reviews, the chalk ink sits kind of on top of the page, so it's less likely to sink into the page. And so when you're doing journals where there are 2 sides to a page, that it might be better to use this. So we'll try that out. And then the other one is the Versa Fine. Also small little pads, which is nice because my stamps are not that big. But it says that these capture fine details. These ones are oil-based and water resistant, so we'll see which ones I like. Something else that I thought I might do is that if I like the Versa Fine inks, I might stamp it on like cardstock and then cut them out and put them in a little baggie and stick them in my traveler's notebook. So instead of stamping on the page itself, I'm stamping on another page that I don't care about. So if I mess any up, it's okay. And then I can use my tape runner to attach those little bits to my traveler's notebook. That way the ink would go through the cardstock if it's going to go through anything, and then wouldn't go through the rest of the journal page. So we'll see. I have plans to try this now that I've purchased them, so we'll see how it goes. I've been definitely intimidated. And if there's something that you've been meaning to try out artistically, whether it's stamps like me, what has been intimidating you that you've been holding off on trying because you're nervous that you're going to mess it up? I'd love to hear about that. Oh, I did buy one more thing, and I want to share that with you. So this was on the Everyday Explorer's website. She also stocks another artist that I've been following for a long time. Her name is Abby C. She's amazing. I actually bought her zine. So this, first of all, is a zine that looks like a traveler's notebook, which such a good idea. And it's called Tokyo Documented, and it is pages from her traveler's notebook when she was visiting Tokyo. But normally I like watching videos of other people's traveler's notebooks, but I don't get to see them up really close. And so here I can actually read all of the handwritten notes and all of the different things that she wrote about in here. There are drawings, there are stickers. She only had limited stock of these on the website, and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna get it. I want to support her. Anyway, I hope that this was fun and interesting to you. Sometimes I like to watch haul videos. If there's anything in particular that you'd like to see, or you have any journaling related questions that you would like for me to answer, let me know. All right, and that ties up that video. If you're curious, I am still using the journal that I unboxed in this video. It looks a little bit different now. I did end up taking a fair amount of the charms off of it, but I love it, and it's all cute and scratched and marked up, and it feels amazing. And yeah, if you want to see videos of me using the products that I mentioned in this video, I linked them in the cards above, and so you can go check those out over on my journaling channel, Journal Sunshine. I hope you enjoyed this little blast from the past. My hair was much longer then, and I was considerably less tattooed. But it's good to see you folks, and I hope you're doing well.